Look, Christmas trees. Christmas trees are here. Before we used to have the artificial tree, me and Mike would always come to this guy and get our tree. His trees are always fresh, they're always good, and the prices are really, really reasonable. Oh, you guys, can you smell it? Let me tell you one thing. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, than the smell of a fresh Christmas tree. Well, it's not Christmas tree, that's how we call it. But yeah, this, is it sequoia? Not really sure. Ah, you guys, can you smell it? Look, come closer to the screen. Come on, get off the couch. Come closer to the screen and smell this. Oh, it smells so, so, so delicious. So, yeah, smelled it. Don't forget to wipe the screen clean. Yeah, always came to this guy. Always came to him. Hey, the other Christmas tree is already standing there. If you guys watched our last year Christmas, you would have seen Mike and me standing in the snow around this tree, acting silly and crazy. Let me take you to it. I'm getting light in my lens, so that's not really good. So let's just walk a little bit around it so that you can see the color and the little twinkling lights in there. That's much better, right? So yeah, what I was saying is I was debating whether to make for you guys a classic Christmas chicken, but basically that's the same thing as the turkey that I made for you, only instead of a turkey we use a chicken. So you already knew that. Maybe I'll make it for you another time. But so then I decided to make for you special holidays Moroccan chicken that you can serve to your guests to surprise them with something they might, you know, the chance is big that they've never had it. Isn't that much better? Surprise your guest with a flavor they've never had. And I know you guys in Western countries, maybe you're afraid for the overuse of herbs, but I promise you, the Moroccan kitchen does not exaggerate that much. So don't worry about that. Just try it. Okay, so let's get in. This is our local supermarket. Let's get in, get the ingredients to go back home because, like I said, it is really cold. Guys, so first step is depending on how big your family is, but since it's just me and Mike, it's just one chicken. Put them in a clean water and then start working on every single little feather that you might find on its skin. So that's what I'm gonna do. Take out every little single feather that you can find, every excess fat and all that. Just make it clean thoroughly. That's what we'll do. See you in a bit. So after you've cleaned the chicken, make sure to change the water in the cleaning process. Keep changing it while you're cleaning it, taking off, cutting off, fat that you don't like, a little bit of the butt. I know it's disgusting, but I need to show you guys step by step. We're not here to make fancy videos. We're here to make realistic videos. Otherwise, we might as well not just do it. Anyway, while you're cleaning the chicken, make sure you change the water every now and then till it's clear. Then you know that everything is all right. Plus, use also the water to locate the little feathers, because sometimes when you're holding it up out of the water, you don't see it. When you put the chicken back in the water, you see those little feathers kind of flow here and there. So that's a good way to locate it also. What we're going to do right now, we're going to mix a little bit of lemon juice. If you have time to make fresh lemon juice, that's even better. If not, then, get one of these. So depending on how big your chicken is or how many chickens you have, add a little bit of the lemon juice and a little bit of the salt in there. Mix it well together. Then rub it in the chicken, all over the chicken, and let the chicken sit in it for about 10 minutes. Not too long, because lemon and salt are pretty aggressive. So what happens is if you let the chicken sit in there too long, it will start falling apart while we try to cook it. So just for a little bit, just to make sure that the meat is clean and it's not sensitive to bacteria anymore. Just the process we do. Plus, it also helps the chicken meat get a really nice flavor in the end, in the process at the end. So that's what I'm gonna do. Mix a little bit of this juice, a little bit of salt in this pan, then rub it all over the chicken and let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes max. And I mean max. See, it's barely covering the bottom of your pan, and you know, shake a little bit of salt in there too, and you're done. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rub this all over the chicken and then put it back in there and then leave it for 5 or 10 minutes max. Little tip, you guys, is I'm sorry, I'm trying to be quiet. Mark is on a business call. One little tip. Before you put the chicken there, to leave it there for, like I told you, do one last thing, and that's press the chicken against the bottom of your pan, and then do that on all sides, just to make sure you've benefit from this mixture that we made. Just press it against the bottom of the pan, and then roll it on all sides. And when you know you've had all the sides, then just leave it for, like I told you, 5 or 10 minutes. It's been about 5 minutes. See what happens, you guys? The chicken meat is clean and white. The blood is kind of vanishing away. See, this is what we want. Like I said, we're not going to leave it in there too long because we do not want it to fall apart while we're cooking it. So we're going to the next step, which is a lot fresher side than this. Sorry about this, but I just have to take you step by step through this. Normally, when we make the Moroccan chicken, we use a lot of onion, like you see here. Normally, it's said for this recipe that you have to have a total of 500 grams per chicken. But since I want to end up with a lot of sauce, because I got some fresh French bread to dip in, so that's what we'll basically we'll have on our plate. That's what we'll end up with. Piece of chicken with the sauce that I will be making. It's gonna be delicious, you guys. And that sauce will have chicken liver in there and green olives and the whole thing. It's gonna be delicious. So because it's the only thing that will serve as a side dish, I'm gonna make a lot of onion because we'll let it simmer, so it's gonna shrunk, but still. So if you're making one chicken just like that, I'm a little bit lazy, and especially because I want to do other things today, so I'm not going to take the time to just, you know, spend on cutting onions. So I have them pre-cut, like you see here. What I'm going to do is I have here about 500 in total. Yeah, like I told you, 500 in total. I'm going to do about 250 grams in here. Let's just do that and then continue. So about 250 grams in here of the total amount of 500 grams. We're going to add there fresh parsley and coriander and celery. I think it's celery. Look the translation. So this is what you need to have. Peterselie is in Dutch. I think it's parsley in English, and celery, coriander. I'm gonna add it in there. Huh? Cilantro, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. So I'm gonna throw both in there. I know it looks a lot because the Dutch stores just sell a little bit, because Dutch people use it either as a signature or a little bit for salad, you know, signature on top of whatever has been made, or in a salad, or just a little bit for the food. But for this recipe, I'm gonna need you to trust me and you know, just go with me with this cuisine adventure and just use a lot of it. Trust me, it's gonna be delicious. So do you trust me? Like Aladdin says. Yeah, that was a good one, Mike. So I mean, it's not like you're gonna cut down a whole forest of this. Just, geez, I don't know, just a little bit of this. I mean, this, what? Let me see. Oh, look, it's from Morocco. That's coincidence. So I have here 50 grams, and I have 50 grams. That is about 50, 30. Okay, about 30, 45, 50, about 55 grams of cilantro and parsley of each, right? So let's add it in there. Look, this is what I'm holding in my hand. See, I don't have the hugest hands. They're not the smallest, but also not the biggest hands you've ever seen. So look, I can just, huh? No, they're not that tiny. So I can hold it right like this, see? So this is what you need together. This is both the herbs that I just showed you. So we're gonna wash them and throw them in there. Add in there just a half of one of these pieces that you normally use to make chicken broth, you know, mix with water and all. We're not going to mix it with water, but use it as dry spice, but just a half of it. Of garlic powder. If you have fresh garlic, it's even better. But for now, just leave it. I don't know. We don't like strong garlic taste, so I don't know. I'm just gonna shake this a couple of times on top of all this. Black pepper powder. I don't know, maybe something like this. Maybe a teaspoon or something. Just make it a teaspoon. Right? Something like this. And remember, I'm used to spices, so if you're from a country or, I don't know, a household that you're not used to spices, just be on the safe side. So I'm gonna add curcuma. Again, just, I don't know, trust your instinct. Just use whatever is safe for your taste. See, something like this. Curcuma. Last but not least, ginger powder. You know, relatively a lot more than the other spices because chicken and ginger powder go like horse and carriage. Half of this lemon, half of it. Peel it and then add the lemon meat in there, just a half. There it is. This is going to smell like heaven, you guys. You try it and you'll see. So there's the half.
I'll be the judge of that.
Of the lemon. Yeah, Mike will be the judge of that. So we're going to puree this, all of this together.
How much garlic does that
Nah,
contain?
not a lot of garlic. Trust me, guys.
Well,
You're smelling all the
don't
other stuff
think
that I've
so.
added in there. It's not just garlic that I've
I don't
added.
think so.
I've added
There's a lot
parsley,
of garlic in
like
there.
100 tons of parsley and all that. So it's really not a lot of garlic.
No?
If Mike won't
Well-
quit, then I'll use this as a hair mask. Yeah? Are you going to quit or not?
Or to put it on your face?
You're scaring the people. It's not that strong, guys. Trust me.
No, it isn't. No.
But
Not at all.
actually, I did went a little
Let me
bit.
put it this way.
Yeah.
They can smell you coming from a few miles out.
Just make sure you're in the right wind direction when
Just
you.
make
No,
sure you
no, no,
don't
no.
eat
Come
this
on,
a
come on.
Sunday.
Well, no, 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 guys. Well, then in you know, in that case, leave out the garlic. But honestly, this is not the garlic he's smelling. Trust me, guys. He's smelling the parsley and the whole thing.
Yeah.
I've added like a whole mixture of stuff in there, but he wasn't in
Sure
the
I do.
kitchen when I was doing that. But you were. So add a little bit of water when you're mixing, when you're pureeing this. Add a little bit of water. Now we're going to rub a little bit of this on the chicken.
Rub it up.
Rub it up. Rub it on the chicken and then leave it in the fridge for at least 1 hour, 2 hours. For at least 1 or 2 hours. You know, preferably a whole night. But since we don't have the time, this time we're
Crack a
all
window.
running like chickens without a head, like we see in Holland. So at least two hours, right? Yeah, you crack up a window.
Yeah.
There's the chicken. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap, you know, that special food plastic. I don't know the name of it that we use to wrap stuff.
Cellophane.
Cellophane. Yeah. Okay. So that's transparent plastic.
Food wrap.
Yeah, food wrap plastic. I'm gonna wrap it around this and then put it in the fridge, like I said, for at least 2 hours before we continue. Also, this mixture, that also put it on the side and in the fridge because we need this. Without this, we have nothing.
And if I can give a tip,
Yeah, Mike is giving a tip.
I would put a lid on it.
Lid on it, but that's
Otherwise,
why I'm wrapping it.
your fridge is going to smell
Like what? Like Indonesia.
like garlic.
Like garlic, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a compliment, by the way. I love fresh herbs. Clean afterwards. Whatever you've cleaned the chicken with, whatever you have that's antibacterial. So I used a couple of different stuff. One of them is Dettol which is supposed to be really good, you know, for killing germs, because you know this is a very important area in your kitchen, obviously. Plus, look, sometimes we let our kitchen rag hang in there. So yeah, whenever you're working with meat, cleaning meat, make sure you always disinfect the area. All right, guys. So this chicken has been sitting in the fridge for 2.5 hours. So now we continue. I promise you, your fridge will not smell like garlic. In fact, with this on and the lid, I couldn't smell anything until I took them off. So now I smell all this goodness, deliciousness again. So we're gonna keep the chicken on its belly, because the chicken breast is where most of the meat is. So we need that part to cook very well, which will take a lot of time. So we need that part on the bottom. So he's fine as the chicken is right now. Look, this is his little butt, little chicken paws right there. The chicken breast is on the other side, just to give you a reference or how to look at it, the position. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add water. We're gonna cover at least the belly, the chicken breast, and leave just a little part of the back visible. So it's not necessary to cover the whole chicken with water. Just you know, just till the back, I guess. I'll show you in a minute. We'll be fine. Can you see the water level, which is up here? So this whole area, his whole back, the whole back of the chicken is not covered. So told you about the sauce. And remember the other half of the lemon? We're gonna add some pieces of this in there too, because the lemon, how the lemon juice works is it will keep the meat from falling apart. So that's why the Moroccan use the lemon in there too, because yes, it is about the flavor, as long as the flavor is good, but the layout, the presentation is almost just as important. Especially if you have guests. You do not want to serve them a chicken that's falling apart or that has holes because the meat is overcooked. The Moroccans won't appreciate that. And you will be the gossip of the town. That's what people can do. Well, in every nation, every culture, we just love to gossip. That's just a side note, just a side joke. But not really, though. So, we're going to try and keep the chicken whole, and the lemon will help us. So I'm gonna put some lemon parts in there. I don't know, just some pieces. I don't know, as big as your thumb, maybe a couple of that, maybe 3 or 4. Remember, I told you in the beginning of this video, you need at least 500 grams of chopped onion per chicken. So I have there 250. I still have 250. Of these 250, I'm gonna take the half and add it in there. At this point, look, the lemon is there. I turn it on, and remember I told you about the simmering first. It has to boil, and from that point we let it simmer. And from that point we're gonna check on the chicken and make sure it doesn't burn the side that the chicken is on right now. So you need to stay there and wiggle it a little bit every now and then. So yeah, later in the process you will see that the chicken will start to blow up, to seem a little bit bigger. That's when, because it's absorbing the juice in there, so it will start to seem a little bit bigger than it was when you initially put it in there. That's when you have to make little holes with one of your I don't know, maybe the fork or something that you can puncture in there. Make some holes so that you can give the juice the chance to escape the chicken. All right, so now the half of the other 250 grams of onion I'm gonna add in there. From this point, I'm just gonna leave this for what it is, let it boil and then simmer till the chicken is done, and then we will continue. If you want to make sure that you have not overdid it with the spices, this of course is not the right stage, because as long as the chicken meat is raw, you cannot taste anything from this pot. So we're just gonna have to wait for the chicken meat to be cooked well, and the whole juice in there will have a very different look. it will smell differently and it will taste differently. Only then you can taste to check how the spices are doing in there. Of course, if it's a little bit flat, then you can add ginger powder and a little bit of black pepper powder. Um, or if you have any specific other spices that you love, that's when you can add them in there too. But for now, just leave it as it is. Guys, while the chicken is simmering, it's very important not to put the lid on at all. This whole thing doesn't need a lid. This this whole time. So just let the chicken simmer and let it cook. And you can check by the neck. Just cut a little piece of the neck, just a little piece, and taste it to make sure that it is cooked. I mean, first of all, it has to be obviously cooked well before you try that. Other than that, I mean, till then you can still see that we still have enough pink spots here. See, you can tell, just by the look of it, you can tell that this is not the time to taste the meat if it's cooked or not. So just be careful with that. Make sure that you don't taste unless you know that it has passed a point of how do you say that? That it has reached a point of cooked. Dessert, I'm gonna clean some pomegranate. Is that how you call it, you guys, in English? Pomegranate? Yeah, in this cute little bowl. Look up at how beautiful it is. This is why they call it the fruit of the gods. Actually, it's mentioned in my holy book too. It's so beautiful. And it's so healthy, you guys. This is the best dessert that you can give yourself. If it's in season, which is now. This is our dessert. And it's always nice if you have guests and you're trying to serve a Christmas dinner or Christmas meal. It's always nice to have these kind of typical stuff that you see around Christmas, like this. I just turned the chicken because at some point you feel like the chicken is getting heavy and stiff, so that only then you know that it's safe to turn the chicken. Don't wait too long before turning it, because otherwise you're way past this point, and if you then try to turn it, it might fall apart. So just pick the right time. If you're not sure, then just leave it on its breast, the chicken breast, this side. Just leave it on this side like I showed you in the beginning until you see that it's cooked all around. But yeah, I took the chance, and you guys see how you feel. Yeah. So look, you can tell that the chicken is cooked and it's starting to fall apart. See? So this is the point where we take the chicken out, right? And then we're gonna put it on something like this because we need to drain it. We need the chicken to be completely dry for the next step. Let me put this spoon away. So yeah, look, beautiful chicken, but we need to drain it. We need it to be dry for the next step, because from this point, yeah, we're gonna let it cool off, and then from this point you can either choose to put the chicken in the oven, well, not like this, I'm gonna show you some stuff, or you can choose to fry it. You can, from this point, you can go either way. If you choose to put it in the oven, then let it cool like really off, like really well, till it's really not hot anymore. Then you can mix actually no, don't mix anything, but if you want to mix something, mix a little bit of fresh herbs like rosemary and thyme with a little bit of butter, and then brush the chicken with it, and then put it in the oven. But at this point, I'm not really sure, you guys. Haven't decided what to do with it. Haven't decided whether to fry it or just put it in the oven like I'm telling you right now. So while it's sitting there cooling off, it gives me the chance to decide what I want to do. Now we're going to brush some butter, room temperature, on the chicken. remember, like I told you, if you've been cautious so far and you haven't used a lot of spices and a lot of herbs, because this is the first time and you're just dipping your toe in the water, you want to see how it is, that's fine. So if you've been very cautious and you've been using only a little bit of spices and all that, and you discover at this point that your chicken might or could use a little bit more flavor to jazz it up, spice it up, then this is the time, because now you can add a little bit of spices, whether it's dry or fresh herbs, in the butter, and mix it really well. Of course, chop the fresh herbs if you're going for the fresh herbs. Chop them really well till they're tiny. Till the whole thing is just, chopped really well. Mix it in there and then brush it all over the chicken, and then into the oven. Looks like this chicken is ready to go into the oven. So the other side of this chicken, I just flipped it and I forgot to film it for you. I'm sorry. The other side is nice, brownish, goldish, crispy. So I decided to turn it over and do this side, do the belly, just a little bit. But stay with it. We do not want it to become too dry or too crispy. Again, the same procedure, a little bit of butter all over this side, and now into the oven. And the upper element, the hot element on the, the upper side of the oven should be on. So the sauce is ready. It's thick. Wait, too much steam, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, there it is. It smells delicious, especially because of the chicken liver that we've added in there. And like I said, it's okay for the chicken liver to fall apart. The more the better, actually. So that's that. And there's our chicken. Look how nice and yummy it looks.
There's Bagheera.
Where's Bagheera? So normally, if I would have to have visit, I'll use one of these big plates to put the chicken in the middle and then the sauce all around it. You can also fry a little bit of almonds. That's the Moroccan recipe. Fry a little bit of almonds and sprinkle it on the chicken, and boil 3 or 4 eggs. Cut them in pieces and then put the little pieces all around the chicken. That we do also. Although the modern youth might find that a little bit too old-fashioned, so they don't do the boiled eggs around it. But yeah, if you want to go Moroccan all the way, traditional, then like that's what I would do if I were to have a granny visiting, and I would make this for an older Moroccan person or visits. So yeah, so because it's just me and Mike, I'm not going to put the portal out, the big plate and all that. Instead, I'm gonna cut the pieces that we want for now and just use little plates. But I was just giving you an idea that, if you're going to serve this for your visits, then use a nice big plate and then put all the stuff that I showed you all around the chicken. And you can actually use, I think it's called haricot courgette, not sure in English. You can use all kind of vegetables. The green beans, yeah. String beans or all kind of vegetables that you like to put around the chicken. But that's not what we do in the Moroccan kitchen with this specific recipe. But I mean, you can, like I said, decorate the plate with all kind of vegetables or fruit, maybe that's typical for the Christmas season. So it's all on you and your creativity. For now, I'm really starving, you guys. So it's gonna be one last shot of how it looks on the plate, and then we're done. We're gonna have, we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna try it out. Again, for now, it's just the chicken and the sauce and the French bread. Authentic. I broke the bread just with my hands instead of a nice clean cut. So yeah, French bread with the rest that I will serve in a minute.
For the what? Traditional look?
Yeah.
What did you say?
A little authentic look.
Authentic look.
Instead of a modern cut through the bread, I broke it with my hands.
Just being lazy.
Actually, a little bit of both. No, yeah. A little bit of both. Let's keep it on that. Okay, take this. Take it away, Joe. I'll come with the plates.
Lazy. Give it to me.
I've been standing here for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask you to do that.
No, but I did of myself because I missed this. Alright, so I just cut the chicken in half. one half for today, the other half for tomorrow. It's gonna be even more delicious, you guys. You know how it works with stuff that you know, that you have the next day. So yeah, this is how it looks from inside. Look, all the herbs got in there. So expecting this chicken to have a lot of flavor all over, all around. So like I said, this is for tomorrow. Look, still enough sauce. With the measurements that I gave you, that's why I'm showing you this. Still enough. See, I have a chicken. This is Mike's because Mike doesn't do bones. So I took care of that. And this is mine. It is delicious. While I was deboning the chicken fillet for Mike, of course, I kept tasting and tasting. And it's really, really tasty, you guys. It's just so, so good. And I'm really proud. I don't say this often, but I'm really, really proud of what I've accomplished this time. So, it's really, really good. All right. If you dare to make it, and I dare you, please go and make it because it's really delicious and really not that not expensive to make. That's not what I was going for. I was trying to say not really that complicated. So if you do it, let us know what how yours turned out and if you have any tips. All right, enjoy.